We got our curriculums in today. Our primary homeschooling core curriculums that we're doing, like reading, writing, math, we're all doing that through Pearson, who just got obtained by Savvas, but you have to order through Oasis. It's kind of confusing. They're working on it, but if you have any questions, message me and I'll kind of walk you through what I did. Let me just show you the reading curriculum for just one kid, for just Magenta reading. What? That's so many books. Look at this. I mean, really, I think it's set up that we're gonna go through one of these books every 2 months. And if you do that, reading 15 pages a week with your kid, just to keep them in the habit. Some people don't read to their kids as often as they should, so they rely really heavily on these curriculums to fill the gaps and keep the kid practicing. So it's not as intimidating as it seemed. It'll be good. It'll be fun. We also got math curriculums in by the same company. So I don't have the math curriculum with me. I just wanted to show you the reading curriculum. But we got all these manipulatives that came with our math curriculum, which is so great. So you don't have to fuss about like, well, how do I show my kid that 10 is obviously less than 100? Well, they've got like these. These are all strips of 10. You can play games with these. Counter block shapes. We're gonna learn how to tell time. Money, fake money. In the math curriculum, I was also interested to find out this math curriculum doesn't just teach addition, subtraction. Like, I don't remember when I learned all of this stuff, but first grade math, I don't know if this is typical or not, but first grade math, they're teaching, yes, time, addition, subtraction, pattern recognition, geometry, learning about graphs, and data interpretations. I didn't know kids did this in the first grade. I think I learned it like maybe in the third grade. But I like this because Magenta's school taught these with these books that she was in school this last year, and she's already used to the math videos and the animated videos that pair with the weekly reading. So we're excited to move into this. Seems intimidating, but I think it'll be fine. We rounded out this week talking about families, which is awesome because we have 2 holidays this weekend. We had Juneteenth and we have Father's Day. So we talked all about families this week, how each family member is important, what families can come in different shapes, sizes, colors, and that it doesn't matter as long as love is what ultimately bonds us. So we got a chance to talk about celebrating others' differences in their families and celebrating our uniqueness. And it was good conversation. I know a lot of people don't want to talk to their kids about politics. I think it's important. When we talk about politics with our kids, we do talk about only things that they can immediately help with, things that are within their control. We acknowledge the problem, but we immediately pair it with something that they can do, which often looks like compassion, love, kindness, acceptance, inclusion, things like that. For Juneteenth, to be honest, I've never heard of Juneteenth before. Maybe murmurs, but like nothing like it has been this year, which is super exciting. I'm all down for a new holiday, celebrating new cultures, learning about the trials that other people have gone through and have overcome, and celebrating them because of that. So I'm all excited about it. I posted a video, a few video links. I posted a few articles about red food. I posted about some books for all different age ranges, even age 0. I mean, if nothing else, look at the pictures and just talk to your kid about, oh yeah, people used to work there, it was really hard, and they decided that they weren't going to do it anymore and they left. Obviously, there's way more to the story, but we call that hanging nails on the wall. You're not going to hang the picture yet. You're not going to hang up the idea that'll be in the permanent memory, but you can practice having these conversations with your kids, because sometimes it doesn't come out right the first time, and we as parents need to practice having those conversations with our kids until we do get it right. So hang those nails, keep trying, keep practicing having those conversations. When we talked about Juneteenth, Violet, you know, she's 4, kind of went over her head, and she's like, yeah, that's nice, okay, moving on. Magenta, she's 6, she was really upset. I told her that, you know, people were discriminated against because of their skin color. They were forced to work. They were taken from their families. They weren't allowed to go to school. They weren't allowed to get paid for their work. They weren't allowed to take sick days. And she immediately stood up and she goes, well, that's not fair. And she got really upset. And I'm like, you're right, it's not fair. And so we got a chance to have a lot of great conversations, and it tied right into the Black Lives Matter movement and the killing of George Floyd, and injustices that are happening in our world and what she can do about it. So that was exciting that we got to have some of those intro conversations that I hope we will build off of for years to come. Father's Day is this weekend. Happy Father's Day to all you dads, stepdads, father-like figures, grandpas, uncles, all of you. All of you, if you have had a hand in raising any kids. It's not an easy job. It really does take a village. So this weekend is for you. And I really hope that you feel special. We got a chance to do a few crafts for Father's Day, and Kyle went shopping for some tools, so he always looks excited. He's always looking forward to that. We'll do a big breakfast, and we'll spend a lot of family time. But the crafts, I made a post about that, and there's links to that. They're all free. This is an example of one of them, and it ties in with one of the books. A family is a family is a family. So talking about injustices, discrimination, along with Juneteenth, and how families look all very different. A family is a family is a family by Sarah Leary on our YouTube playlist titled Families ties perfectly into this. This focuses not just on the LGBTQ community. It's not just on the Black Lives Matter movement, but it's broad strokes. You know, there's families that have been shattered because of abuse, because of alcoholism, because of a variety of reasons, divorce, or not even being married and deciding to go separate ways, or having multiple parent figures in and out, or maybe being raised by your grandparents. None of that is wrong, as long as there is love and it's a safe environment. So that was a special book that stood out to me, and I hope you take a look at it. It taught a lot about inclusion, and it talked specifically to the kids about how just because your family doesn't look like the status quo, you might feel scared to invite kids over to your house, or scared to get close or talk about your family life, and nobody should feel that way. So this kind of broke down barriers, and we got a chance to talk about that. It also talked about big families, small families, families of different customs, handicapped families, families with disabilities, families with adoption, and foster families. So the book, A Family is a Family is a Family, specifically follows this little girl at the tail end who comes from a foster family. And I thought that was so interesting because I haven't come across very many books that talk from a kid's perspective about the foster system and celebrating them in that season of life, and helping them find a loving community that accepts them for the transition stage that they're in. So that was really cool. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope you celebrated Juneteenth and Father's Day. Have a great weekend. Bye, guys.